Gentlemen, welcome to episode 68 of Techfall Tabletalks. I am your host as usual, Julius Grit, and today is going to be a relatively short episode. Fargo is inching closer and closer. And today I'm just going to offer my predictions of all the New York City wrestlers that qualify for Fargo this year. Assuming that everyone that qualified is going to go, we still have some time, right? Everybody knows guys get hurt sometimes and wind up not going. Some guys just aren't able to go. It's not exactly free to go to Fargo, right? I myself have donated to a few of these guys on this list, so I hope that they reach their donation goal and they are going to be able to make the trip. So there's different factors in going. It's not just you qualify, you get to go, just to put that out there. So assuming everyone on this list is going to Fargo 100%, they all qualified. So I'm just going to give my quick rundown on how I think everyone's going to do. So I'm going to start from the bottom up. So first off, Amin Ibrahim, he qualified for Fargo in the Greco style, 190 pounds. So I don't know very much about Amin, but I know what school he goes to. He goes to Madison High School, coached by Steven Santamoro. And the success that Steve has had with his guys recently, with Amir, the success that Madison's had, man, I wouldn't be surprised if Amin goes ahead and upsets a bunch of guys at Fargo and All-Americans. I wouldn't be surprised at all with the consistency that Madison's been having lately. So my prediction for Amin is he's definitely going to get to the blood round, and I'm hoping everyone on this list goes and gets a stop sign, of course. Spoiler alert, right? But, I don't know very much about Amin, right? But if he can go and get a stop sign, that'd be great. But I'm definitely going to predict that he definitely gets to the blood round, and then he'll just have to battle his way through the blood round. But we'll see when that comes about. Next up, we have Bradley Munoz, 113 pounds. He qualified for Fargo and Greco. And his brother, Brandon Munoz, qualified for both styles, also 113. Brandon is older than Bradley, so even though they're the same weight, two different classes. So Bradley's a cadet, Brandon's a junior. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you saw me interview Bradley after the PSAL championships before they headed out to Albany. And if you're a long-time listener of the show, you know that I interviewed Brandon a while back. So these guys are no stranger to wrestling on bigger stages, right? And I believe this, if they decide to go to Fargo, if they're able to go, I believe this might be their first time going to Fargo, right? Now, these guys are judoka, that's what it's called. They come from a judo background. Right? That's how they've been able to have some decent success in wrestling pretty much right out of the gate. Right? They're really good at throwing and things like that. Right? So, the last time New York City sent a guy to Fargo that came from a judo background, that was Alex Semedenko, and he wound up winning Fargo and Greco. So, I'm not saying automatically Brandon and Bradley are just going to go out there and win the national title. But I wouldn't be surprised. Again, I wouldn't be surprised at all if they go out there and they All-American, right? They wrestle for Patrides High School, Coach Ola. I've been in that room plenty. I practiced with plenty of those guys during my high school years and a little bit after. And it's a really good room. Ola's a really good coach. They've got really good assistants there. Brandon and Bradley have real good partners inside that room. And I know that if they decide to go to Fargo, I know that they'll definitely be prime and ready to go get to the blood round first, because everybody knows that's what you got to do first, make it to the blood round. And then they'll be ready to battle through that blood round. Same thing with Amin. He's going to be ready to battle through the blood round. So my prediction for Brandon and Bradley, same as Amin, get to the blood round and Just battle through. And if they come out with some stop signs, great. Excellent. So, but they'll definitely get to the blood round. That's my prediction there. Not sure if they're All American or not, but I'm really hoping that they will All American. So, hey, get to the blood round and be ready to battle through it, because that's when the competition really gets tough. Next up, Leo Tansi, wrestles at Collegiate High School. He qualified for Fargo and Greco, 150 pounds. Leo been training real hard. I got to practice with him one time, and he's good, and he keeps getting better, his older brother, Sean Tansi, really good wrestler, made the state finals. Now he's wrestling in college. So, just that alone. All right, that's not pressure, that's inspiration. That alone is going to get Leo in the right mindset to go into Fargo and do what he has to do. All right, this is not the first time he's at Fargo. So I'm saying, hey, he's been there before. He keeps getting better. So, again, Leo should go out there and All-American. He should definitely go out there. He should definitely make it to the blood round, battle through the blood round, and he should definitely get a stop sign. I don't see why Leo Tansi doesn't walk out there with a stop sign. He's definitely going to bring a stop sign back to New York City. Next up, Evan Gersoy. He qualified for Fargo in freestyle, 120 pounds, wrestles for Midwood High School. I think Evan makes the finals. Honestly. I think Evan makes the finals. He's too good. He's really good. He's just really, really good. And looking at the way he wrestled at the Beat the Streets annual benefit, I know that's only one person, right? He wrestled one guy. It wasn't like a tournament. I get that, but still, the way he's just too good. He's too fast. He's too slick. He's really technical. He's very precise. His reattacks, he's not easy to score on, and he'll battle. He'll definitely battle to win a match. He's had close matches, and he battled to win. It's not like he's a stranger to close matches. He's had close matches, but he battled and he won. So he has grit as well. It's not just his talent. He worked hard to get that good. So I don't see why Evan doesn't make the finals. And if he does make the finals, I don't see why he doesn't win it. I think Evan could become a national champion. I really think he could do that. He's not a stranger to the national stage. He All-American in folk style not too long ago. So if you're All-American in folk style, not only is he going to All-American at Fargo, I believe he can definitely get to the finals. And then once he gets to the finals, he'll be able to go and just battle for a national title. So my prediction for Evan is he's going to make the finals. And then once that happens, there's the mental shift, understanding that, you got to really be ready to get a national title. It's a little bit different when you're in the finals. So he's going to be ready to make that mental shift and just do everything right. And if he has to battle, he can do that. We've seen it. So he gets to the finals and gets a national title. Next up, Zico Majidov, freestyle, 157. He wrestles for Poly Prep. I've known about Poly Prep back when I was in high school. I never wrestled anyone from there, but I've trained with those guys a bunch. And I've been in the same rooms as them, been in the same camps as them, And they just have a lineage of really good wrestlers, honestly. Going back to Lenny Merkin, he's still competing on the international scene right now. David Berkovich, he just finished up his time at Columbia University, Charlie Berry, not too long ago, he recently finished up his time at UNC. So, they have a lineage, they have prestige. And I think that just being in that room and being under the tutelage of Coach Constantine, I think Zico definitely goes in and All-Americans. I don't see why he doesn't get a stop sign. The room that he's in, the coaches that he has, he should definitely be able to go get a stop sign. I don't see why he can't. Next, Kingston Da Silva. He qualified for Fargo and Greco. He wrestles at 215 pounds. I've known Kingston for a long time. I've watched him come up. I've really watched him grow up in New York City wrestling. I've gotten to watch him grow up, and he's only gotten better and better and better and better and better. And he's not wrestling for a New York City school. He wrestles for a school out in New England, but he still resides in New York. It's a boarding school. He still resides in NYC, and he still represents NYC. And any longtime listeners of this show, this episode's not on YouTube, but it was back when I had it on Anchor, back when that was still a thing before they merged with Spotify. Just a little quick side note. But I interviewed Kingston a while back, and I asked him, do you still consider yourself a New York City wrestler? And he said, yeah, I'm from New York, And yeah, that's right. He came up in New York City wrestling. He still lives here, So when he's not at school, he's here, right? And he's representing them. Like if you look at the tournament, look at the bracket and all that, it says New York. That's what he represents when he wrestles. And he's been training at Edge Hoboken for a long time, for a while, doing a lot of privates and stuff. And the coaches there are very good. I've even, the times I've practiced there at Edge Hoboken with Beat the Streets, I've gotten to see Kingston there. And I've gotten to practice with Kingston quite a bit. So, at other places is where I practice with Kingston at. So, I don't see why Kingston can't go and get a stop sign. He's definitely going to go get one. This isn't his first rodeo. It's not his first time at Fargo. He's definitely going to get a stop sign. But I know what Kingston wants. And based on the trajectory that Kingston's been on, he All-American at Prep Nationals, right? He's no stranger to a national stage. No stranger at all to a national stage. So I'm thinking Kingston, same as Evan. I think Kingston goes to Fargo, goes to the finals in Greco this time, not freestyle. And then he wins the national title. So Evan is going to win a national title freestyle. And I think Kingston is going to win a national title Greco. So I'm predicting, even though Kingston's not wrestling for a New York City school, I'm predicting so far that 2 NYC wrestlers are going to bring back some stop signs. Next up, Tristan Levin. I just had him on. He qualified for both styles. All right, so Tristan's just been working real hard. If you go back and listen to the episode, he talked enough about it. And I'm thinking Tristan's ready to get a couple stop signs. He's going to come out of there with 2 stop signs. That's just my prediction there. He's coming out of there with 2 stop signs. Right? He wrestles for Tottenville High School. Coach Sean's a very good coach. They got my boy Craig Sampson on the coaching staff. Tristan said it. Craig changed his wrestling. Right? So I think with all the improvements Tristan's made, yes, he even said in an interview the blood round didn't do too well for him as of late. But I think right now he's really going to start to hit his mark, So at Fargo, I'm thinking Tristan, obviously he's going to get to the blood round. But I'm thinking Tristan, this time, he'll be able to get through the blood round. He'll be able to grind through the blood round. And wherever he lands, he's going to get a stop sign. He's going to land somewhere on that podium. So that's my prediction for Tristan Levin. He's going to land somewhere on that podium. He's not walking out of Fargo without a stop sign. Whether it's 1 stop sign, 2 stop signs, Tristan Levin is coming out of Fargo with some hardware. Next up, Brendan Sprague. He also qualified for both styles, wrestling at 113 pounds. Wrestles for Monsignor Farrell High School. Head coach Pete Ham, and I know a bunch of the assistant coaches, Matt Seitz in particular. Terry Adams also been helping out over there. They were both very good wrestlers. And Terry Adams, he All-American in Fargo as a cadet in 2016, I believe it was. I actually remember that. I wasn't there, but That's around the time I met Terry, and I've been in the same rooms as him and all that. We've always been two like completely different weights, so we never like trained together or anything. But I've been in the same room as Terry plenty of times, plenty. So for him to be helping out his alma mater, basically his old high school, for him to help out there, that offers a lot of great things. I know Sites well. I've been around Sites a lot, and I know of his coaching style and such. So for him to help out, that's a big help as well. And Brendan Sprague, I had him on here. If you guys watched that episode, go back and watch if you want to learn about Brendan Sprague. But this guy is, well, he's young. This kid is he's a quick learner. That's what people say about him, and it's true. He hasn't even been wrestling for maybe 300 days yet, and he's already like really good. So I'm going to give you guys the same prediction that Brennan gave himself. Brendan Sprague is going to All-American in both styles at Fargo. He's coming out of there with 2 stop signs, 100%, right? Because of his mindset. That's the reason I'm going to pick, just because of his mindset. You know? His technique is good, and he keeps getting better and better and better and better, right? He hasn't been wrestling that long, right? Under a year or about a year and some change. He hasn't been wrestling that long, but he has been in Fargo before, so he has experience on the national stage. So I'm thinking that maybe he's not really going to get too many butterflies, because he's already been on the stage. And watching him wrestle at the Spartan Nationals and Northeast Regionals, he looks real confident. He always looks confident. He doesn't look nervous at all. He looks like he's ready to get out there and get after it. And I think that the same thing's going to happen this time around at Fargo, but this time around, the result is going to be him coming out of there with 2 stop signs. That's what I think is going to happen. So, yeah, like he's gotten really good really quick. That's the one key element here. He's gotten good quick. Most guys, it takes him some time. Brennan got good quick, honestly. Like, it's a little scary how good he is this quickly. And if you listen to the episode, add in the fact that he's coming off of injuries. He broke his neck during his sophomore year. He's still a sophomore now, so not that long ago he broke his neck. And then he said during the interview, in case you guys didn't watch it, but still go watch it, he broke his neck. He came back too fast. He even said it himself. And then he got hurt again and had to come back from that. But look at that, right? That's tenacity. That's grit right there. Brendan Sprague has a mind that not a lot of wrestlers have, just starting out. And this is somebody that just started wrestling, like I said, in 9th grade. He's a sophomore now, so that's not that long ago. They started wrestling, so it hasn't even been a full year yet. So, I mean, like, it's amazing his progress, and it's amazing the mindset that he has. A lot of people don't have that kind of mind, especially young wrestlers. They really don't. A lot of young wrestlers, rookie wrestlers, starting out within like their first couple of years, they don't have that mindset. But Brendan Sprague has it. And I think that his mind is going to carry him to the blood round, through the blood round. And I think his mind is going to get him on that podium, just based on his mindset. All right, guys, I got cut off a little bit, but I'm going to talk about Omar Tankara right now. He qualified for Fargo in freestyle, weighing in at 113 pounds. That's what he's going to wrestle at. So I'm thinking Omar goes and becomes a national champ. Same thing with Evan Gersoy. I don't think that, and Evan and Omar they kind of shared the same success, kind of. At NHSCAs, they both All-American. Evan took 3rd, and we all know that Omar had won it. But for those that don't know, Omar had won it, and he's the first NHSCA national champion from New York City. The first one, which is extremely good. And just like Kingston De Silva, Omar does not wrestle for a school in New York City. He came up through the Junior League of New York City. He was a part of a top camp. He was in my group for one of the Beat the Streets Top of the Podium camps. So I got to watch Omar grow up, really. And I've seen him here and there. Saw him at the War at the Shore a few years ago. And I was competing there as well. So I actually got to watch him wrestle like mat side. So I've gotten to watch Omar grow up over the years and stuff, and he's just improved immensely. But he came up through New York City. He still lives in New York City. So he represents New York City for freestyle and Greco. He does wrestle in New Jersey, a school in New Jersey for folk style season. But aside from that, he's representing New York. And I don't believe that he should have, Fargo is a tough tournament, but I don't think that he doesn't get through the blood round. I don't think he doesn't get to the finals. I don't think Omar doesn't get to the finals. Same thing with Evan Gersoy. And same thing with Kingston De Silva as well. Those three guys, they're getting to the finals. And I think those three guys, Omar, Evan, and Kingston, I think they're all going to become national champions. That's what I'm thinking. They're no strangers to Fargo. And Omar is no stranger to winning a national title. He just did it not that long ago. So, he hurt his knee. He tweaked his knee a little bit at the Beat the Streets annual benefit. But he still pushed through and still finished the match. He wound up dropping that match. I covered it on a previous episode. But that grit, that determination, the fact that he was able to push through that shows something, that says something. So I think Omar Tenkara is going to become a national champion once again. So that concludes my predictions for Fargo, for the New York City wrestlers. Good luck to all of you. Right? I'm really rooting for all of you guys. I'm definitely going to be watching. Other people can be watching as well. And hey, it'd be really cool if all of you can get stop signs. So go out there and really give it your all and really just be ready to grind, really be ready to go out there and get your hand raised as much as possible and do what it takes. Do what it takes to come out of there with a stop sign.